Hey everybody, we're going to tell you a story. It's called A Brain-Boggling Tour Inside Your Head by Casey Clark, Catherine Dawson, Mariana Ottaviano, Donnell Pierce, Jennifer Rosario, and Shahad Salem. Once upon a time, there was a neuron named Noah who lost his place in the brain. Noah the neuron was in the process of relaying a motor impulse through the spinal cord, but forgot where he was supposed to send it. He decided to look around and find where he needed to go, but Noah soon realized the brain was a complex maze with lots of tunnels and lobes. Noah remembered there were 8 lobes in the brain, but he would only need to pass through 5 to reach the spinal cord to send his motor message. Some of the lobes had 2 tunnels acting on different sides of the brain. Noah decided to investigate the parietal lobes to see he could find and get started to feel his axons ends lifting off the ground. Noah found himself floating in a bubble. He began to realize that this lobe was responsible for helping him know his place in space. It helped him figure out his rights and lefts, allowed him to feel sensation and touch, and helped him to read the signs that led him here in the parietal lobe. As Noah started to enter the frontal lobe, he heard singing coming from what looked like a small town with lots of factories and centers for functions of the brain. Your frontal lobe controls each day for deciding on what you can do or say. From eating and drinking to learning to thinking. It lets you feel sad or say, "Are you okay?" Your frontal lobe controls each day to run or skip or walk. Hooray! Using your speech is really great, a perfect way to motivate. By the time Noah was feeling overwhelmed and a little tired, he approached Wernick's Area International Airport, where he met Aurora the attendant. Lost and need help figuring out where to go. Could you please help me? Aurora responded, "No problem. These routes can get confusing. To the left, you may find memory for verbal material. To the right is nonverbal material like music and drummings. Both sides help with sound, speech, and senses to help you on your journey. We here in the temporal lobe pride ourselves in helping with hearing, understanding, and forming memories. We allow thoughts to be turned into words." As Noah flew through the air, he found himself surrounded by a hot air balloon, each responsible for a different specific function of the temporal lobe. Hearing, smelling, emotion, vision, learning, memory, they were all there. Noah had finally reached the occipital lobe, just a couple more tunnels to go down before finally reaching the spinal cord. As he entered, he noticed the tunnel was dark, as he could hardly see anything. Then all of a sudden, Noah found himself in the ocean with a pair of sight goggles. As he looked around at all the beautiful ocean water, sea creatures, and plants, he realized this entire rear portion of the brain allowed him to have a full color moving picture of the world around him. After drying himself off and returning his sight goggles, Noah was at last reached the cerebellum, and he knew he would have to pass through one final lobe to reach the spinal cord. While passing through the cerebellum, Noah found himself on a tightrope to find his balance so he wouldn't fall. Noah learned that his lobe controlled his coordination of movement, balance, equilibrium, and posture. These allowed him to reach the other side without falling down into the circus tent. Your brain buzzes and fizzes with electrical and chemical signals. Messages zap from your head to your toes and back again, carried along a network of tiny cells that Noah and his friends are part of. Now Noah has finally found his place in the chain. Get ready for another mind-bending tour inside the brain with Noah the Neuron.